Hi everyone, welcome to Pluto7's webinar for Cloud for Marketing. A little bit about Pluto7. We are an AI and ML focused company, which means we are a company that essentially focuses on machine learning and artificial intelligence use cases. And for the machine learning and artificial intelligence use cases, we need a lot of data, which means we focus on analytics or the whole cloud offerings where we get a lot of data in place. So that's essentially what we do. A little bit about Pluto7. Pluto7 was recognized one of the top partners for Google. So most of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and analytics workloads on the cloud comes to Pluto7, Google's preferred partner in these domains. That's what we do. And a little bit about myself. I take care of growth. My name is Nikhil John. I take care of growth for Pluto7 India. And we are working with multiple companies across India that is in the likes of Maruti, Hero Honda. It's Hero Motorcorp, no more Hero Honda. TVS, this L&T. These are the kind of companies we work with for multiple areas where they are trying to optimize their supply chain or customer engagement, or they want to build bots, or it's like they want to identify more quality in terms of more quality for all the spare parts they manufacture. They want to identify wrongly warehouse spare parts. So multiple use cases they work with us, and this is essentially what we do. So in terms of what we initially started off the business with is to help customers identify, where exactly to focus on. What would be the top forecast in my sales? So if you give us past history of sales data, we can tell you what the future looks like using machine learning and AI. Essentially, from that, where customers, started off working with us with certain workloads, they then started giving us much more data of theirs from different departments. So we started building solutions around the whole Google Cloud framework, right? So the solutions which we are building is, marketing ML, demand ML, sales ML, and supply chain ML to handle certain kind of problems which the customers had. So these customers, essentially, they came to us saying that they have issues with all of, with either sales or marketing or supply chain. And together with the customer, we built models which can actually, further improvise or digitally transform their business. So that's a little bit about us and why we're here. Over to Arsh, who takes care of Pluto7 marketing.
Hi everyone, I'm Arsh. I'm the digital marketer for Pluto7, and I'm going to walk you all through how exactly will the AI and ML parts of Google Cloud and our own expertise in the same help you evolve your marketing processes. So let me just present my screen. So in today's hyper-connected world, customers have touch points across various real estates, whether they're digital, whether they're physical. They can be social media, they can be Google, they can be advertisements, they could be certain media websites, or they can even be your in-stores, your store traffic. They can be the print advertisements or billboards. And there is no stringent way for a company to act on all of the data they're collecting across all of these real estates. For example, meet Jane. She's a millennial mom.
One second, I'm presenting. You have to go to the.
So the customers have a lot of touch points. As I mentioned, meet Jane. She's a millennial mom who's just bought an HD TV from a local retailer. Now, right after buying this TV, she gets this email of buying more TVs. She does not want it. She's already bought it. Then she gets it again on her browser, a lot of more TVs, and she's kind of not happy about it. So what should have these guys done? They should have offered her other products which complement her TV, maybe a subwoofer system, either for her home to make it a really home theater system, or even a Bluetooth portable speaker, which you could have used along with a TV, or even taken it in a bedroom to listen to music. Now, these are the kind of personalizations that helps a customer feel empowered, that helps a customer feel cared about. So what if you considered everything you knew about your customer, whether it's her store credit cards, what items she's returned in the last 10 years, what kind of purchase pattern she has, and so much more. When you combine all of that is when you one journey of your customers. And artificial intelligence is the best way to do it. In a recent survey by Gartner, it was proven that 81% of marketers expect to be competing mostly or completely on the basis of customer experience. And for you to drive this customer experience, you need artificial intelligence. And that's where Google Cloud comes in. It helps you acquire customers, retain customers, and grow your customer base. All of them powered by highly advanced AI strategies. The problem with, as I mentioned earlier, the problem with markets of today is that they struggle with data silos, whether it's content marketing, whether it's CRM systems, ad campaigns, billings and purchases, distribution, point of sale, email management, inventory management, loyalty programs, social media, analytics, customer service. Data is all over the place. And more often than not, they don't talk to each other. So this data in one silo has no understanding of what's happening in other places. And because of this, marketers are not able to make insightful decisions. This is where Cloud for Marketing comes in, which offers a faster, simpler, and smarter solution for enterprises to create delightful customer experiences from their data and marketing tech. It lets you collect all of your data together, transform it so that they can talk to each other, analyze it to get meaningful insights, visualize it so that you can democratize it across your organization, and then activate it, use it. Now, Google Cloud for Marketing is a new initiative by Google where it allows marketers to supercharge their existing marketing processes with the power of AI. These are some of the typical use cases that Cloud for Marketing helps companies in, and we'll walk through each one of them, and you guys can either build it yourself using Google Cloud, or you can involve other partners like us. The first part of the use cases is understanding the customer journey, knowing what your customer are, knowing what part of the funnel they are in, knowing what they want. The most important part of it is trend spotting. Trends in today's world are very important. The world of today is very fickle. The needs, the demands, the wants of the customer, they change every second, they change every day, they change every hour. It's not necessarily in that order. So with trend spotting, the Google Cloud AI can let you know when is the right time for your churn to be the highest. When is the right time for that your website engagement might go low because of a plethora of other reasons. Why is there been a spike in the searches for Purple Massacre? And it is the AI which will give you this information. You don't have to go back and search with a rule-based system and edit, hey, point A happened, point B happened, so why is point C not happening? The AI will come back and tell you what exactly were the points that were in the picture and how does it affect your bottom line. It lets for you to spot these trends, it's not only the marketing trends. It happens across the customer experience funnel. So whether it's sales data from a CRM or whether it's marketing data from your social media channels, you take them together and you transform them and then you make them talk to each other. And then you analyze them with descriptive analytics, either based on sales or engagement volume. And then you can visualize them with easy to make dashboards, either segmented by top categories, by products, geo, or even time. Once you make these comparisons is when you can know whether how your campaigns are performing and what was the sentiment across the scales. The second is self-service analytics. Self-service analytics allows users to know what's happening in the marketing functions they are responsible for. They don't have to involve any data scientists, they don't have to involve IT people. They can take a look at what they're doing, understand what's happening correct, and understand what's happening wrong so that they can fix it. It lets you use data from any of the marketing sources you have, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's AdWords, whether it's any of your social media channels. You can connect them all into Google Cloud and have these easy to understand dashboards ready to be analyzed by any person. Customer segmentation is the third part of the journey. So one of the most important part of any successful marketing campaign is how personalized it is. But at the same time, the bigger the company is, it's not possible to do one-to-one personalization for everyone. And that's where segmentation comes in. You put your customers into significant buckets. I mean, you can still put them in buckets, but these buckets might not be as targeted as you would want them to because it's biased. But with AI-based system for segmentation, the AI can actually take a look at which kind of customers are converting, which kind of customers are right on the verge of converting but are dropping off, which are the customers who use a lot of your coupons, which are the customers who are really loyal and only purchase from you. Basis all of this hyper-personalized data, you can then make narratives that make sense to these people. And that's where, and getting these people together, that's where AI comes in. Then comes lifetime value prediction. With lifetime value prediction, you can actually understand which customers are important to you and which are not as much. So the main problem that are getting solved here that with the higher value customers need to be treated a lot better. But if the company does not know it, they won't give them the premium experience they deserve. So with the lifetime value prediction, you can do that. You can identify customers that are valuable to your customers over time. Even if they're not making those purchases right now, they might make it a year or 2 years later. But for them to do that, you have to ensure you are giving them the exquisite experience they require for them to convert on that level. With AI, you can predict that, okay, this guy has just bought something for $10, but his behavior or his demography in such a way that if you continue nurturing him for another 1 month or 2 months, he might buy something for $1,000. Now, for you to understand this, there's a segment explorer, and then you can from which you can understand what kind of people you are, and then you can act on them across all of the different channels that are there. You can send them messages directly, you can send them specific videos, you can bid ads that cater to them, or you can tell Google to find people just like them and send ads to them. Then purchase predictions. With purchase predictions, you can make you can get purchase propensity, as in how likely is this group or a person likely to buy a singular product or a group of products together, which can then be synced into any of your existing marketing automation platforms, whether it's Marketo, whether it's Pardot, and then you can send out messages which are the conversion predictions by user and product can let you know which product, which type of visitor, where did they come from, what are their actions, and then what is the likelihood of them purchasing. Then you can choose to send them out individual messages, as I mentioned before. Then comes sentiment monitoring. Sentiment is more in the IQ part of a human than more logic. It comes with emotions, it comes with abstract feelings. And it is very hard for a non-AI system to understand that sentiment, because a hello say that it matters. With AI, you can analyze customer service interactions for content and sentiment in order to adjust marketing messages based on their experience. You can know whether the tweets that are going out for your brand, whether they are in a positive note, whether they are in a negative note. If there is a new campaign that you've sent out, how did people like it? And then you can reiterate your messages based on the feedback that you're getting. All of that happening in real time. Another great use case for this sentiment analysis is call center analysis. So you can understand what was the call like, the person who's talked to you, How did he felt about a call? Is he more likely to convert? Did he feel bad about it? Is the problem that he was looking for, did he felt it was solved or not? And basis the reactions or their interactions, you can then either choose to do areas, send them to sales, or you can continue nurturing them as is. Then comes data-driven segmentations. We already covered it. We can involve a lot of people based on their past activity, and then we can send them proper messages, what they like. For example, we can set up segmentation that if a person who bought a camera, and then a segmentation will come out with what else does this person need. She's a part of a cluster who are frequent travelers. So this is a person who would also like to buy noise cancelling headphones. With the email tool, we can just sync all of this information up, and then this person will get an email which will be for a person who would require camera accessories and a person who would like noise cancellation headphones. The Cloud for Marketing console, while still in beta, is one unified portal for you to do all of this, and more importantly, do all of it fast. It lets you find deeper insights across all your data sources so you can deliver delightful customer experience. It also lets, not only does it connects to all of your data and provide you insight, it also connects to all of your marketing platform tools and lets you do stuff, as in it can let you send out ad campaigns, or it can let you send out social media campaigns or email campaigns or even telemarketing campaigns. Now I'll pass it on to Nikhil, who can tell you how we've helped other customers in using Google Cloud to hypercharge their marketing with AI.
Hi, once again. So I'm just going to be presenting my screen to show you these cases. So I hope you've got a sense of what Google is trying to achieve with cloud marketing. Essentially, a single platform for handling multiple. It could be sentiments, it could be propensity, segmentation, and then how to target them better, how to send out better ads. A complete marketing platform that you can get on your analytics for you to act upon it, right? So we've been working for multiple customers in this space for over a couple of years, and specifically with these machine learning and AI use cases. We wanted to highlight a couple of them, which would be more similar to the marketing analytics and sales kind of use cases, where we acted upon the data that we got from data science. So one such customer is Cisco. I think Cisco needs no introduction. One of the largest companies selling networking equipments. What we do for Cisco is for multiple teams on the service operations side, we help them effectively manage contacts better. So in the sense, we consolidated all of their data related to all their service operations. From that, we were able to identify which kind of people required what kind of service from them over multiple periods of years of data. What is the sentiment? How many times have they called the call center? How many times has the query been solved? What is the voice of the customer? Has the voice been aggressive in terms of, he's not happy with the service and he's given a bad rating? And based on that, multiple parameters, we are collecting it on a real-time basis for multiple systems. So you got to understand, Cisco has over 500,000 products in over 200 countries, right? So and different pricing all across with thousands of channels to manage them. So all the data coming together at the right time, at the right place for someone to act upon it takes a lot of effort. And essentially, this project is even continuing right now, where we are handling not only the sentiments of the customers, it's also sentiments to how it can actually affect a forecast. For example, if it's a Meraki router, what is the sentiment we see in the market on Meraki for all the different complaints that we receive from Meraki, and based on that, exactly what would be the future forecast they could see in sales, in terms of what would be a potential sales decline or an increase for them based on the sentiments, right? So you figure out different parameters on the data that you need. Another use case which is very interesting is a company by the name of California Design Den. So they are India's largest supplier for Amazon. In fact, if you go on the streets, you'll probably see their name as one of the top suppliers, NMK Textiles or California Design Den. They have their advertisements all across India. Amazon is promoting them in a big way. So what they do with us is they have a lot of campaigns which they run on Amazon for multiple SKUs. I believe they have 180 SKUs on Amazon US, Europe, and yeah, that's it, I guess. Amazon US and Europe. And for every customer that is buying, they have data around the customer, what time he's purchased, whether it's been a failed conversion based on the ads which were placed. All of the data is being collected and housed in a warehouse. By that, what they are doing is currently they are housing all this information. They're keeping all this information. They're also collecting in real time what sentiments these customers have in terms of what is the review they've thrown on Amazon. So, for example, a 0.1 increase or decrease in an Amazon rating can increase your sales or decrease your sales by 10 to 20%. So that's a huge number which you have to maintain as a supplier, right? And if you're coming from a manufacturing background to go into a digital age, you better be prepared, right? So what they saw is that their highest rated product, which has a rating of 4.5, sells more than 30% of their second highest rated product, which is only 4.4. Right. So in the sense, Amazon promotes it by themselves, and that's where they see multiple sides of, I would say, patterns of where they can increase their sales. And over and above that, they could also identify how much inventory to keep at the right time at the right place, right? So, for example, if Amazon has multiple warehouses, so they would ship it to either a Pennsylvania warehouse or a California warehouse based on what trends they're seeing or based on what advertising they're doing across the market. So that's a pretty interesting use case which you can read online if you just Google it. Another very interesting product on marketing ML was, or on marketing where we use machine learning, was VMware. So again, no introduction needed. VMware is one of the top companies in the world, now acquired by Dell, which basically makes software to virtualize your environment, right? So they have, again, multiple SKUs in multiple versions, which they want to identify which customers are going to come back and repeat. So kind of retention analytics or metrics has to be identified. Over and above that, a very important number for them is renewals, right? So most of their renewals, I think 80% of their business renewals. And if you look at VMware's numbers, they do around $6 billion per quarter, I believe, in revenue. So out of that, over $4.5 billion will be actual renewals numbers, right? So they really want to identify in terms of which software, which version, what is the potential of a customer to churn. In terms of if this customer is on the edge of renewing a contract, or is a general renewing contract, or he's given his account details, he or her has given his account details, and they're buying it on credit. So all of these different patterns were put into a machine learning model. And by that, we were able to identify which customers are either going to drop out, and how we need to either give a discount to them, or probably woo them more with better support kind of offerings, and which customers to really, the propensity to buy would be much more in terms of, this customer eventually will buy more because his license is going to be phased out, right? And another interesting use case which we solved for them is which kind of accounts would be a diamond in the rough. So a diamond in the rough is essentially like an account like Uber. It was billing VMware hardly a couple of thousands of dollars, and then suddenly you see $1 million of billing, and there's no account manager attached to it, right? So these kind of accounts is kind of like a diamond in the rough. And how do we identify these accounts and nurture them towards growing your relationship with these accounts, right? So many things like that is what we work with. Data is coming into Google Cloud, and automatically on top of the data, all these use cases are being worked upon. So this was something really good, and we got to learn a lot along with the VMware team for this. Another super interesting use case is Synaptics. So Synaptics, if you Google them, they are basically one of the largest companies which ships a lot of pointing devices. So your phone essentially has a touch screen which is made by Synaptics. They ship around 5 billion devices across 5 billion devices across the world. It's a very large company, and they want to forecast how much inventory they need to keep to based on trends which they see in the market, right? Kind of like Trendspotting. So, for example, if iPhone released a 10 model, should we just base it on an 8 or iPhone 7 sales, or should we really look at what is the sentiments in the market, and how much inventory to keep? Because if you have unsold inventory, it's a huge loss, which you may not be able to sell to any other vendor, right? Because you're customizing a product and making it for just Apple. So this was a very interesting use case where we were able to, load some third-party data. For example, data of Apple phones or Apple sentiments in the market, which they're seeing from e-commerce websites, and these are open APIs which you can get on the internet. Put that data as sentiment data towards your forecast, and by that, how to figure out a variance in forecast in terms of increase or decrease, or how much more to manufacture or how much less to manufacture. So these kind of use cases, what now we're solving in most of the companies, and we're really looking forward to many more interesting use cases. Over back to Arsh, who will be talking to you about where we see a more competitive advantage for ML and AI in marketing.
Yeah, hey everyone. So as Nikhil mentioned, AI and ML, they are doing a lot of very wonderful things for a lot of our customers, but there's a lot more than you can do for your own company. So it's customer segmentation, where AI gives you specific customer segments that you can target with specific messaging, and also lets you know what exactly would be the success rate of such messages. Then campaign targeting, working quite similar to segmentation, but it also lets you know which kind of ad campaigns to target to which people, and also what should be the bid for those. Then content optimization, changing specific parts of the content to make it more attuned to your target personas, making it more personalized, making it more important, making them feel more important for the company. Then customer LTV prediction, letting you know which customers are important for you so that you can reprioritize of how much effort you want to put in nurturing them. Then data warehousing, connecting all of your siloed marketing data together so that you have one unified source of truth. Recommendation AI, which lets you recommend products to your potential or existing customers basis their past patterns. Going back to the example of the million-old lady who bought the TV, the recommendation AI would have given her the recommendations to make a purchase for a home theater system instantly without any additional work. Then predictive modeling for remarketing, letting the remarketing ad networks know which kind of customers are predicted to respond favorably to them. And then real-time ad bidding, changing the pricing of your ads basis what's happening in the market, what's happening with your customers. So I'm moving back to Nikhil, who will then tell how Pluto7 can help you reach where you want to go. Because it's you who knows where your business is, it's you who knows what your profit goals are. You can come in any part of this process and let you know how AI and ML can hypercharge your marketing. So passing it on to you, Nikhil.
Perfect. So I'm just going to play the screen again. Am I sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you want to actually go ahead with it, right? That's a question you would probably have in case you have these doubts on. Okay, I've heard all of this, but where do I go from here? So yeah, I'm just gonna skip this. So where you can actually leverage AI and ML, and how we see most of the customers going forward with these kind of use cases, is first of collection of data, right? You have a problem, you have you want to solve it. Centralizing the data is the first step forward. You may be having multiple sources of systems, so multiple systems. For example, small use cases, you just have Instagram data. You're a brand, you have Instagram data, you want to identify, okay, out of all my products, which could be either you could be L'Oreal, and you have a lot of hairstyle data, and that data you want to really see how my products are being used, probably on Instagram, right? And with multiple stakeholders, multiple influencers you're targeting. Centralize the data, identify where all you can get all the data from, identify the use case, what do you want to solve. It could be, is my brand used in the positive light or not? So you want to identify sentiments for a specific product, for a specific Instagram account, or a specific influencer. Now that is a very, very specific use case, right? So you can solve it in a very record amount of time. You can solve it fast, capture all the data, run it through Google Open APIs. There are a lot of APIs which Google has currently. So test it out yourself. We would not recommend going and coming to us directly. We would recommend, trying a first shot at solving the problem by yourself and see how ML can really make it real for you. And based on that, we would recommend see how it can essentially help you from moving away from traditional analytics. Would be just reporting data. So this will give you more insights as to, hey, these were the different other brands which you could see in the images of these influencers, or these are the other brands that we see, or this brand we don't see in positive light because people are creating all memes out of it. So it could be multiple things that we could identify from all of this information, or you will be able to identify from all this information. Look at a success criteria, what you want to achieve, and based on that, move ahead with either approaching Google or us with either a workshop or a proof of concept. Like you want to prove this, you want to make it real for yourself. That's where we would come in and we would tell you, hey, share your data with us. This is what we can achieve in this much amount of time. And some things which you would probably be getting off the shelf as well. So we'd be really open to solving the problems along with you, and this is something what constitute our vision as well. So really looking forward to these kind of use cases from y'all, and then going ahead with these kind of requirements. So over to Arsh. I think we're done with it.
Thanks. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone for joining us in this webinar. If you have any questions, just let us know in the email.